This week's video is not a shelter dog groom. As a matter of fact, you won't watch me groom a dog at all. Today's video is more of a dog owner public service announcement. I want to talk about poison ivy. No, not that poison ivy. This poison ivy. We'll talk about poison oak and poison sumac too, and how these three plants can make both you and your dog miserable. If you've watched videos from my other channel, Kate Bonnie Country, you may have noticed a large magnolia tree in my yard. Before I moved in, my brother-in-law kept the yard for my mother. At 81 years old, she cannot do the heavy yard work anymore, so he pitched in and helped out. For several years, she would go under the magnolia with some hedge trimmers and cut the underbrush as close to the ground as she could. However, it has been several years since there was a thorough cleaning out, and I noticed that kudzu has found its way into the tree. Kudzu will take over and kill a tree if you don't eradicate it quickly. The easiest way to do that would be to use chemical herbicides. However, my father almost killed a 200-year-old oak tree years ago while using such products, so over Memorial Day weekend, I decided to do it the hard way and rip all of the kudzu and underbrush out at the roots with my own two hands. So what does that have to do with poison ivy and dogs? Well, you can probably guess part of that. I will elaborate momentarily, but first, welcome to Kate's Country Critters. You can call me Kate. Thanks so much for stopping by. Come sit a spell and have some coffee with me. While the French press does its thing, I'd like you to consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Those two little actions help the channel grow and reach more people. The Shelter Dogs and I appreciate your support. You can also ask questions and leave comments. I do my best to respond to each and every one. Finally, please share this video with your friends and families. Kate's Country Critters is dedicated to helping the animals at the Bibb County, Alabama Animal Shelter. Most of the videos that I post are of shelter dogs looking for their forever homes. If you would like to help them directly, please pause this video to come back to and click on the link above. The shelter has several methods you can use to provide support. I donate my time and supplies to assist the animals at the Bibb County, Alabama Animal Shelter. If you would like to aid my efforts, please consider joining my Patreon. For as little as $2 per month, you will have access to members-only chats and behind-the-scenes looks. At the $5 per month level, you will have access to even more content, including home grooming tutorials as I am able to edit and post them. Higher levels are available as budget billing options for my physical clients. If you live within reasonable distance of Centerville, Alabama, and would like to become my client, please send an email to katescountrycritters@gmail.com. All of this information is included in the description below. Looks like the coffee's ready, so sit back and relax while I tell you about today's client. I spent roughly 8 hours over the course of 2 days ripping the kudzu off of the tree. I wore long pants and closed-toed shoes. I used gardening gloves. My mistake was wearing short-sleeve shirts. It was hot. Short sleeves are normal when it's hot. That, my friends, is where I messed up. Towards the end of the second day, a rash had started on my arms. By the next morning, I knew it wasn't a simple rash. My arms were covered in blisters. I am pretty sure that poison ivy was mixed in with the kudzu and underbrush, and I just didn't notice it. I normally groom shelter dogs on Thursdays. I was dealing with broken blisters and itching so intense that neither Benadryl nor Allegra could touch it. I had to skip a week of shelter grooms. I would show you a picture of my arms that day, but I would have to age restrict this video due to how graphic that picture was. Fair warning, I am going to show a picture of a more healed arm a week after the rash started. It's still quite nasty. If you think that such a picture might offend you in some way, click on the chapter marker labeled poison ivy, oak, and sumac in the description below. Skip this part. I will give you 5 seconds to do that starting now. Okay, you were duly warned. This is my left arm after a week. It itches less, but it will still take another week or two to completely go away. Yes, I was a whole lot of dummy for not wearing a long-sleeved shirt. Real quickly, let's go over something I was taught as a child but chose to ignore. This is what poison ivy looks like. 3 leaves of glossy green per stem. Most children in Alabama are taught to just leave vines with 3 leaves alone. The problem is that kudzu is also a vine of 3 leaves. When mature, the leaves can be larger than an adult man's hand. However, I was going after a young vine. I identified the vines that were attached to the magnolia as kudzu and got to work, but failed to notice that there was poison ivy mixed in at the base of the tree. We also have poison oak and poison sumac to worry about. Poison oak is a vine in some places and a bush in others, and it gets its name due to its leaves looking similar to those of an oak tree. They could grow in clusters of 3 or 5. Poison sumac has 7 leaves, 3 on each side and 1 on the end. You might also see white flowers or berries depending on the time of season. All of these plants contain an oil called urushiol, and that's what irritates the skin. The rash can start showing up within a couple of hours or up to 3 days later. The parts of your body that had the most contact will develop the rash first, and areas of less contact will take longer to react. This is why the rash might appear to spread when it really doesn't. So, what does this have to do with dogs? Dogs are usually protected from the oil by their fur, and they do not react as intensely to urushiol as humans do. However, dogs with little to no fur on their bellies might develop an itchy rash that lasts up to a week if they come into contact with poison ivy, oak, or sumac. You can treat that with over-the-counter anti-itch sprays or creams for dogs, or consult your veterinarian if those don't seem to be working. Now here's the kicker. Urushiol oil can remain active and cause rashes months later. I had a neighbor once that used gardening gloves to pull poison ivy one summer. She put those gloves away at the end of summer and caught a rash the next spring when she put them back on. The oil can transfer from any item onto you. That means if your dog gets into poison ivy, urushiol can transfer from their fur onto you when you pet them. And then you end up with a nasty rash and you have no idea where it came from. When walking your dog in parks and wooded areas, keep your dog on maintained paths. Try not to let them wander under bushes or roll around in underbrush. Even well-maintained parks can harbor poison ivy, oak, or sumac. Now you might be wondering, what should you do if you think your dog has gotten into a patch of poison ivy, oak, or sumac? Well, you're going to need to give your dog a bath before giving them pets and belly rubs. You will need water that is at least 90 degrees, but no more than 95 degrees. So hot, but not scalding. And you need a shampoo with a degreasing agent. Personally, I will add a little Dawn dish liquid to a deep cleaning dog shampoo. Roughly 1 part of Dawn to 5 parts of dog shampoo. That should do the trick. Give your fur baby a thorough scrubbing and rinse well. Dawn contains a degreasing agent that will strip the urushiol off of their fur, but it will also strip away the natural oil on your dog's skin. To prevent dry skin and the itching that comes from that, follow up with a conditioner made for dogs. Next, take your clothes off, put them in the washing machine, but don't start it yet. Bathe yourself, and then start the washer. There could be urushiol on the clothing that might transfer back to you if you handle those clothes after you bathe. So if you cannot immediately put them into the washing machine, put them in a plastic bag, seal it, and wear disposable gloves when you handle them to put them in the washer. I hope this video helps you have a happy, itch-free summer for you and your dog. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or stories to share, let me know in the comments. It was great having you in today. Feel free to stop by anytime.